welcome to week 4 of NMP 650, Leading Change in Nonprofit Organizations. I'm going to try something a little different and see if I can do a little recording here and sort of set the scene here for week 4, and maybe that will help to guide you during this week when things sort of take a shift. As you've probably figured out, in NMP 650, we are working on 3 parallel tracks or paths, if you will, during the course these 8 weeks. The first of which is, of course, your capstone research. And we've spent the last couple of weeks with talking about your capstone research areas and starting to narrow down to your actual capstone questions. The second path is working on your e-portfolio. And the assignments in the last 2 weeks have also been driving you toward working on that e-portfolio. And the third path that we're working on in NMP 650 is the Bowman and Deal text and those 4 frameworks that we will start to really get into in week 4. So going into week 4, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of flesh out exactly where we're headed in these last weeks of the class so that you get a sense of the overall structure coming into the last 5 weeks. You should have by this time, because the first 3 weeks we've spent a lot of time talking about your research area, your topic of research, and narrowing it down to your specific research question. So coming into week 4, you should have a pretty good idea of where you're headed. With not only your topic area, but the real focus of your research question. So starting in week 4, we're going to begin to work on your literature review, the pieces that will make up your literature review. One of the required readings for this week is for you to watch the NC State video on literature reviews. That should be very helpful to you. And the assignment for this week in week 4 is to begin to do a basic assessment of 1 or 2 pieces of the academic literature that will eventually comprise your full literature review. And I want to stress 2 things for you. One is that we're specifically looking for academic literature. We're looking for peer-reviewed literature. So make sure that the pieces that you are writing about and that you're reading come under that heading, that qualification. And the second is to maintain APA format even in these beginning assignments for your literature review. I'm definitely going to be looking for the use of correct APA formatting in those. That APA formatting will be part of the grading rubric for these assignments, the literature review assignments, and the use of academic literature is also part of that grading criteria. So make sure that you understand the meaning of all of that. Now, the work on your e-portfolio really has come to a conclusion as far as NMP 650 is concerned. Your assignment last week was to populate the various sections of your e-portfolio with a brief description of each item and why you chose it. The next step in your e-portfolio will not actually take place until NMP 670, and that will be the narrative essay, which is the companion piece to your e-portfolio. So at this point in time, in terms of NMP 650, our work on the e-portfolio piece of your last 3 pieces of work for your degree requirement, we're pretty much concluding our work on it here in 650. So we will now in week 4 begin to really pay attention to the Bowman and Deal text. In week 4 we will be addressing the structural frame, the first of the 4 frames that are discussed by Bowman and Deal, and you will also be working on, there will be discussion questions once again. And you will be working on the Willow Creek case study, and that will pretty much be the format for the remainder of the weeks here in NMP 650. In other words, that'll be the pattern to be working on your literature review, to be working on your capstone research, and to be working with the Bowman and Deal frameworks. Each week we will be discussing and working with a new case study and a new one of the Bowman and Deal frameworks. Reminder that starting in week 4, those discussion leader assignments do start, so please refresh which week you signed up for and which week you're responsible for, and a reminder that you're not sharing the duties with another person. If there are 2 people assigned to a week, each of the 2 leaders is responsible for monitoring each of the discussion forums. In week 4, you'll be doing your first attempt. The first assignment is the first attempt at the literature review. If you've never done a literature review, you might find this first week's assignment kind of challenging. But work your way through it. Definitely pay attention to that NC video. That will be very helpful to you in terms of the literature review. Also go back to the capstone examples that were posted in week 1 and take a look at how their literature reviews are formatted. That will help you with the APA formatting piece of that. But you have several weeks here. Each week in the next couple coming weeks, we will be piecing away at this literature review, doing it a little piece at a time, and it won't be until week 6 that the assignment will be to complete your literature review. So you've got a couple weeks here. Don't panic if you don't get it right away in week 4. So let me know if you feel that this video has been helpful to you in setting the tone for the week. Let me know if you have any questions. You all have my cell phone number because we've spoken on the phone. So please speak up. We're moving very fast through NMP 650, but there's a lot to do. I hope that you will ask those questions early on so that you don't get behind or go in the wrong direction. Thanks a lot. Talk to you on the phone or see you in the discussion forums. Welcome to week 4.